I was watching the Daily Ketchup Podcast where they featured Rui Ming from the Woke Salaryman to speak about his financial independence journey, and the main topic was the $100,000 by 30. And in the video, he was specifically mentioned that he has almost $0 net worth at the age of 25. But at the age of 28, he has managed to achieve the first $100,000. So that's like a 3 years time span, which is really fast, right? I would say that it's an insane growth, especially from someone coming with $0 net worth at 25. So I feel that the main reasons were attributed to his high income at $8,000, which he shared on the podcast. So $8,000 monthly income from the age of 25, I think it's really good income lah. And that was his past income, I cannot imagine how much he is earning right now. So if you were to say in a hare versus tortoise story, right? Rui Ming is someone like a hare. He can run damn fast within a short period of time. And I'm very sure, given his skills and his abilities, he is earning so much better now compared to when he was earning 8K. So I really enjoyed Rui Ming sharing on the TDK podcast, which prompted me to make this video as well, to share about how I made my first $100,000, and to be specific, it is 100,000 Singapore dollars. It's going to be a very open sharing. There is not going to be much fancy edits because it is just a storyline. Now I know that $100,000 by 30 is a very popular goal that is fantasized by many people, but you have to realize that $100,000 10 years ago is very different from $100,000 now because of the time value of money based on inflation rate, which means that 10 years ago, $100,000 may be very valuable, but now maybe not so much because of inflated values. Which also means that 100,000 now is much more easier to achieve compared to in the past. So for those of you who are saying that $100,000 is no big deal, I felt that if you don't even have $100,000, you don't need to talk about the next few $100,000 or even the next billion. So at least have that first $100,000 first, then you talk about others. And for context-wise, I've reached my first $100,000 at the age of 25. And if you really want to learn about wealth building topics, you want to chat about personal finance, come and join us at over 17,000 members at the Honey Money SG Telegram to ask like-minded people on personal finance questions. So yes, I know that the age of 25 is going to shock many people, and a lot of you will have a lot of assumptions about me already. So if you're expecting any fancy stock pick or any moonshot or any startup exit fund, then you're going to be very disappointed because I did not even have any of this. It's like my YouTube channel, there's no viral videos, not even one video crossing 100,000. So it's really just slow and steady progress to build my wealth over the years. Just in case you're going to comment, must be coming from rich parents, right? Privileged family. I'm going to break the tradition and say that no, I do not have rich parents. But more on that later. Maybe I share about my privileges first. Okay, the biggest privilege that I really enjoy is that my parents sponsored my university education. Because I do know that some families out there, you all may be paying your own tuition fee loans, which is like $20,000 to $30,000 10 years ago. So based on that market rate, and then you have to pay down your loans, right? Your student debts, because your family may not be able to finance your education. So yes, I consider this a huge privilege. Otherwise, I will be like 5 figures setback. But I always felt that if you're a parent, it's good to at least sponsor your kids' university education. Make them at least useful first to be able to earn money on their own based on the university degree. Second privilege that I have is that I was raised in a frugal environment. So when I was growing up, it was really like I watched how my parents spend money. They are very frugal spenders. They do not anyhow spend money. So I also adopted that habit. So unlike some of you, we all may have lived in a spendthrift family, or like your money is more loose one. So you all won't learn the habits, or you all follow your parents to spend money as well. Also, another privilege that I will acknowledge is that my family did not face any major financial setbacks. For example, like some of them may have a health condition that really eats up a lot of medical costs. There is no business failure stories, there is no bankruptcy stories. It's really just smooth sailing, I would say. No major difficulties. Because all the money you earn, right, if you have any of these setbacks, especially on loans, gambling, business failure, can wipe out your entire net worth on. So my family was privileged to not be in any of those situations. Okay, so this is all the good things already. Let's talk about the not so good things lah. Like I mentioned already, I did not come from a high income family. In fact, it was not even middle income. Also, there was zero financial literacy knowledge passed on to me. All my financial literacy knowledge was really self-learned from the internet. So I did not really learn like stocks and equities until I reached like adult age. I don't even know like all these personal finance strategies until I learned them myself. Anyway, I put all this information transparently out here. It's not really to like disrespect, because all these are just facts, right? It was what I grew up with. But I must also acknowledge that my background is also considered privileged to some other people. So all this is relative one now, huh? So having said that, I was born in a low-income frugal environment. I behave like a hyper-frugal behavior. So the money mindset was more of scarcity, right? Afraid to spend money, always afraid of not enough money, and then worrying that next month may not have enough money as well. So most of my pocket money is saved up lor. And sometimes I also skip meals, which I'm not very proud of looking back. But what I'm proud of is that most of my ang pao money is saved up in my own piggy bank and subsequently the bank deposit account, which is why I never spend much money also. I'm also a highly social introvert, which meant that I very rarely go out with friends when I was much younger as a student. So by the time I was 19, I already have my first $10,000 saved up, all from pocket money. And then during the 2 years national service, I also saved up a huge part of my NS allowance. But after NS, I think that's where my income started to pick up, because I started like giving tuition for a fee. So like I said, right, no lifestyle inflation, cost cap at minimal level, but income level go up. That's when you start to see significant growth on your savings. And back then, I haven't even started investing. But the good news is, I avoided most of the vice and all the high spending activities like drinking, partying. So you can say my life was quite boring even till adulthood, which I'm not very proud of. I only started my first regional travel at the age of 21, and that was after NS, because I could finally afford to take a budget flight at the age of 21, and it was on Tiger Airways, which is no longer functioning in Singapore. So my only advice out of this whole story is that don't blame your family, especially after you have turned 21. If you are born poor, it is not your fault. But if you die poor, it is entirely your fault. So what I learned from them is that humility is a virtue. Don't ever think too highly of yourself, because there will be other people who are better than you, and there will be other people who are worse than you. It's all relative. If you were to ask me, when did I start investing? It was when I turned age 23. So that was year 2014, when I was still in my university undergraduate days. I started investing in Singapore stocks for dividends. So these are mainly in the telco and REIT companies. Back then, bank stocks are not so popular as dividend companies yet. So if you also want to start investing, but you don't know how to trade and how to invest, then maybe you can take a look at my message. This year, to celebrate its 12th anniversary, Moomoo is having a strategic partnership with Nasdaq for a global paper trading challenge starting from 14 October to 16 November. And here is why you shouldn't miss it. During the 5-week challenge, you will trade US stocks and ETFs in a simulated environment using real-time data powered by Nasdaq Total View, with $1 million in virtual funds provided by Moomoo. Learn and grow by testing your strategies using advanced tools and take zero risks. Practice without using real money. What's the reward then? Weekly positive return on paper trading could earn you a share of $20,000 in stock cash coupons, with a total of $100,000 available over 5 weeks. For regional winners, the top champion can win $1,000 in stock cash coupons. For global winners, the top champion can win $10,000 and be featured on the Nasdaq Tower video in Times Square. Plus, if you register through my link, you'll receive an extra month of Nasdaq Total View market data worth $25.99, valid for 62 days. Sign up now by visiting the link below, register for the challenge, and get $100,000 in virtual funds to start trading. So are you ready to prove your trading skills? Get a head start. Learn, trade, and win with Moomoo. If you are new to Moomoo, sign up for an account using my exclusive link below to get the attractive welcome rewards worth up to 1,034 Singapore dollars and enjoy 6.8% per annum guaranteed return on first 30 days for fresh funds in Moomoo Cash Plus. Please note that Moomoo Cash Plus is an investment product. Principal is not guaranteed, and up to 30 days of 6.8% per annum is guaranteed only during the promotional period. After the promotional period, interest is not guaranteed. This is not comparable and is different from fixed deposit or savings deposit. So at the age of 24, I've already graduated from my university, which was NTU Accountancy. Not very good grades, second lower only, which is why my commanded pay was only 3.2k as a fresh grad. Back then, 3.2k was the average. I think 3.2k now considered low already. But my monthly expense back then was still very basic, around $800 to $1,000, including family allowance, because I do give my parents money as well for their upbringing effort. So if you ask me how much was my monthly savings back then as a fresh grad, it was around 1.4k to 1.6k, and that's not even including the annual bonus, because the annual bonus all save up, nowhere to spend money on. Then I also did not stop my tuition assignments. I continued doing them for a fee, and I commanded a higher pay since I was more experienced. So the tuition side hustle managed to earn like 1 to 1.5k per month. So that's some good additional side income on top of the day job, giving 3.2k per month. But before 2015 when I graduated, I never really track my net worth one. I got no spreadsheet like highlighting what were my up and down moments. So I only started my net worth tracking with an Excel spreadsheet since 2015. That's when I started my first job. And that's when I started tracking, maybe like next year I can hit my first $100,000 already. So my first $100,000 are nothing come up from investment on. It's all mainly from savings and having a low expense, which I believe is for many other people as well. There's nothing significant coming from the stock market. In fact, 2015 was a bear market and most of my stocks went underwater at a loss. So if you were to ask me how I achieved my first $100,000, really just saving up and having low expenses. If you want me to give an exact answer, I also cannot give you because I never really tracked net worth before $100,000. But the truth is that it happened and I wish that I tracked it much earlier, especially when I was 19 and I had that first $10,000 saved up. So for those of you who are fantasizing to invest all your way up to your first $100,000, I can tell you it's not going to happen because firstly, your capital is really small. Secondly, you're starting to have earning power, which means your earning power would highly surpass your low capital in investments. So focus on your earning power, focus on getting a higher paying job. That's the most important out of you as a fresh grad. Which is why at year 2015, when I was age 25, I already achieved my first $100,000 and it's made up of the following allocation. $50,000 in Singapore stocks, $25,000 in retail bonds, and $45,000 in cash and cash equivalents. Oh, I even had $1,000 in SRS contribution to lock in the retirement age back then. So yes, by the year of 2015, I already started recording my net worth and at the end of year 2016, it was $125,000 already. But looking back, I'm not very proud of it because $50,000 in Singapore stocks. Back then, not much discount brokerages offering good value for US stock trading. Then I have $25,000 in retail bonds. What was I thinking, man? I was so young, I should have put more money in the equities market. And the worst thing is the cash. Wow, $49,000, more than 6 months emergency funds already. What was I even doing? $1,000 in SRS I can accept because it's really to lock in the retirement age back then. And I think it's also good if you want to lock in the retirement age right now, it's at 63. That's the first time you can withdraw the SRS. So yeah, one more thing. I know this is a $100,000 net worth video, but if you want the next step, $200,000, what is my story and what is the progress, right? You all can comment 200k plus 1, okay? 200k plus 1. Because I really don't know how this video will turn out. Maybe a lot of negative comments, then I stop doing it. Okay, go in comments. So if you all don't want to make the same mistake like me, you all need to learn how to start investing. And how to start investing as a beginner, I already have a video right here, over 20,000 views that you can check out how to start investing for a beginner.